Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity.
Oh, yes, family, give thanks for your presence with us. Give thanks continually to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. What a joy. Give thanks continually for your presence with us. You're definitely here in the Tiger's Nest. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you, your humble servant, and of course, just highlighting the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Royal family, as was promised, we have a wonderful program for you this evening. We have a wonderful sit down. We have blessed definitely to have the presence with us, the Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce, definitely the great physician himself, the sympathizing Negus, give thanks, representing the Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center. And he's definitely here to shed some words of inspiration and, of course, healing meditation with us as we speak of all things health and wellness, as I said, with the Honorable Priest Kailash. And we will be highlighting the man and looking specifically at prostate health. Royal family, before we go too far, let me just encourage everyone to make sure that you contact us via the email priestisaacInstitute@gmail.com to subscribe to the brand new fully loaded magazine. You know, a magazine is fully loaded. So we're talking about fully loaded interviews, articles, features, special features. And remember, we're speaking of videos, documentaries, audio clips, all of this inside of the magazine. Remember, it is fully loaded. It is fully digital, online, and the magazine will be every quarterly. But this episode or this issue will be a special issue, which will be coming out on the 1st of August. But after that, every equinox and every solstice, you will have the online magazine from the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge, Key Demi. All right. And remember, after the first issue, you will be in a position to advertise and patronize and put all that you have to show the world in our magazine. So trust me, this is a revolution unlike any other. Beautiful. Let me say blessed evening to our wonderful visitor, Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce. My Lord, blessed love.
Yes, give thanks.
Give thanks for your beautiful presence with us at this moment. It is a joy that you're here sitting with us, of course, the lion and the tiger in the nest. Yes, my Lord, give thanks for, your presence and, of course, the royal audience for sure, well familiar with yourself and your work. Those who are not, the Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce for sure is a traditional healer and, of course, the founder of the Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center, of course, an institute within itself that has gone through its own evolution and would have definitely brought to our planet, to our universe, a different level of healing, spiritual healing, meditational healing, conscious healing, and of course, what we are all accustomed to, physical healing. I am very honored again to have my my brethren, my brother in the space with me. And again, we will be speaking of all things health, wellness, focusing on the man. And even before I start, people are already saying, so what about the woman? I mean, as I said, we've been doing this for a while now. We've always focused on the woman. We've always focused on the man. We focus on old people. We focus on young people. Believe me, this is well holistic and well rounded. But this is just the moment, the 9th of July, from 8 to 9:30. We'll be focusing on the man. And when you focus on the man, you really focus on the family. Honorable Priest, blessed love, give thanks for your presence. Any opening words for the royal family?
Yes, Honorable, give thanks for life and a mighty life giver. Definitely give thanks for, the opportunity to be in the Shangri-La.
Yes, I.
Give thanks to be on the rocks, the cliff. Definitely. So, looking forward just to reason on the man and see how we could, just take a time out to highlight man still, because it is very important that, because many a times that as man, because the needs of a man is very different than the needs of a woman. Many times people don't really fully understand that what is important to the man and what's important to the woman is completely different. Thus, a man will probably see himself responsible for ensuring that his entire family is well taken care of, and he might go out from Sunday to Friday, Sunday to Friday, Sunday to Friday, Sunday to Friday, with just the intention of ensuring that the basic needs of life, food, clothing, and shelter, and marijuana, right, is maintained, and everyone actually is balanced in the house, and everyone is good, and whereas then for him, he will see that within himself is that he is doing the very best that he can do, and he's doing awesome, and then the woman will say, well, you don't spend the time with the family, and you need to come and spend time with the family, and then yet still in that man's view, he's doing the very, very, very best that he can do, and most times, I mean, the time that we are living now is a time that a lot of the man, I'm talking about high value man too, within the community. And I'm not only talking about Rasta man, talking about man.
For sure.
They would complain that, they are not receiving that level of attention, or when they come home, the welcome that they receive is not that welcome that they would have loved, especially since in their purview, and in their eyesight, they are working day in and day out just for that balance of that family. Yet still, they would come home then and not even receive a proper welcome. So unless, I mean, a man like me with so many children, before I come out of the vehicle, one whole this, this evening I had about how many? About 4 or 5 of them just, embrace me when I come in, So these things there is critical. And even more when it comes from the woman itself, right? Because remember, the woman is the cheerleader. She's the one that goes and spin around and twist around and jump around and backflip and front flip and go green team, and green team bossing barriers, So we are in a space where the whole aspect of the cheerleading of the man, not by his children, but by his woman, is very critical, because that forms the basis of what actually pushes a man forward to that level of excellency. Because he sees that he's fulfilling that fundamental basic requirement, that basic when you go in front of God and God, like, what have you been doing, man? And say, I'm taking my children thing, well, eating and thing, and everybody's good, and So then that whole realms whereby you find that high level man or society have actually placed the man, not even on the back burner, not even on a burner. You at least the man was on a burner. I mean, the man not really on a burner. The man, you hardly, everybody's Mother's Day and everything, and Father's Day. That passing, you don't even know when Father's Day was. But
yes, I myself didn't remember the last time.
Yet still, I mean, that's how it is in a society. Man, I mean, nobody talks about the man and what he goes through and his traumas and his hard times and and what he needs and so it's like that the younger generations in St. Lucia, you have the younger generation of man. You have no masons, you have no carpenters, you have no plumbers, you have no electricians, you have no trades and skills, man, because the young man really have been ignored, and everyone has just been focusing basically on the woman, and as you say, somebody say, well, what about the woman thing? But the majority of the man, they in jail or majority of man, on the block, hardly any of them in school, violence, killing one another in St. Lucia, probably about what? Almost 50 of them have died, and the year is about halfway.
Wow, that's where we go.
Yeah, that's try to what? Very round off, it's about 50. Must be 40 something or so. And it's young people, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 18, 19, little youths. So the man in every essence have to first and foremost just learn of his own intrinsic value and know exactly how to take care of self. So this evening is basically about, just how is it that the man could function in a capacity to be able to take care of self, to put things in place whereby he could even teach, the gospel, of the honoring of the man. Just ensuring that little care is given to the man. I'm sure, even like the Spanish, they say, well, if a Spanish woman take your man, you stick in that, because the Spanish, they say the Spanish take particular attention in ensuring that the woman knows how to treat a man. When he comes from home, to cut his shoe and rub his feet and, The
culture.
The culture, that's culture in there, man. Right? So with us now as a people, it is also critical that as we look at prostate cancer and these things, people only might associate it to what you eat and drink, yet still there's a lack of self-confidence, a lack of self-worth and self-value, rejection, all these things are things that swell up man prostate, as simple as you might say. So it's not by when you read the Bible and say, well, gone are the days when you talk about eating and drinking, when you think the words, it happened. That's the time we're living in right now, the time whereby even the emotional status of the man, is even more responsible, for his level of sickness than what he eat and drink, so give thanks.
Give thanks, my Lord. Holy Emmanuel, I Celestia, Jah, Rastafari. So even from your introduction, give thanks for all those coming in. By the way, of course, as as we have promised, the Honorable Priest, the Right Honorable Priest Kailash Leons, traditional healer, official ambassador of the EABIC to St. Lucia. And even within that even within your introduction there, Honorable, I already started to take some notes, just telling you what's happening behind the scenes here. And, I'm already getting the impression that everything here, you can correct me if I'm not really fully there, but everything here has a sort of emotional foundation. You made like a key point, you say even rejection, these things could even swell the prostate. I think you said swell, not inflame, but even maybe that. So what I'm checking here before you go into, because I know you have your own line of presentation to bring, but just for clarity, so you're saying that the man, although I would believe by nature the woman should, and both man and woman, it's a natural balance where they both heal each other and they both strengthen each other and take care of each other. But if I'm correct, what you're saying, especially in this time, the man needs to learn without a doubt, before anyone else, how to take care of his own self. Am I correct as you continue?
Yes, I mean, definitely. Of course, I mean, the man has to, because remember, you can only give what you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have the capacity to take care of yourself, you really can't take care of anyone. You've only been a hypocrite. So it's only what you have you could actually give. So if you could nurture yourself and give yourself that optimum level of care, then that will actually naturally just flow down to everyone in your private circle. So it is not like as if whatever I do as a man is not because like I love anybody else than myself. I would say, well, because I love myself and my own personal standards, I want to be the best father that I can be. Because if you're doing it really for the children, you might bring a bag of sugar apple in the house and then you turn your back, all of it gone. The children, all of it, you can't find none. If you have some coconut water there, they'll go and they'll drink everything and you can't find none. So you might find one of them that's scary enough to say, well, Dada, or how about, but yet still the children, in my profession, I see that all the time. I just recently they had an elder man with prostate cancer, and they begged us to actually bring him to the rejuvenation center, based upon the state that he was in already. And then the daughter said, "Oh, she'll come and she'll assist and whatever." After one night of taking out his pamper, she was fed up. After one night of changing the man, she was fed up. Imagine a baby, a father and a mother would be cleansing a baby for years. And if they pee up themselves and poop up themselves for time, probably 2-3 years, they still have to be wiping their body for them, I think. And after one night, she can handle that. And then the man was constipated for about 7 or 8 days. Is only when he came into the mountain, he free up. So then it tells you that all the time when he's home, he doesn't want to free up because he doesn't feel comfortable or feel that level of love and care that he'll be taken care of by the people directly surrounding him. So he hold that in, because even the time that he free up in the mountain and he had to be cleaned, he messed up himself and he had to be cleaned. By the second time that happened, brother, she was fed up. She said, oh, she had to leave. So the man only came in to spend a little time. He only spent about 3 days because the daughter didn't imagine the man came constipated for days and he cannot free up. And you understand the significance of how close the prostate is to the rectum. And having that bulk of feces pressing on his prostate there all the time, 7 days worth of poop, that's a lot, especially if you're eating every day, right? So then it is critical then to understand even that level of mental state when they say, oh boy, you can't give up the ghost. People don't just die. It's very difficult to die. That's why you have to give up the ghost.
Give up.
Say, boy, but I die and children there and then people there, and just give up the ghost and they die.
So you gone.
Well, I don't know whether he gone already. I'm just telling you that. Yeah. More than likely. Right? So at the end of the day, when it comes to night, that self-love, you can't put somebody else ahead of yourself. You must fill up your cup till it overflow and let everyone drink from it.
Mm,
Yeah. So it's critical that just that little basic foundation. So you see, well, you know, you as the core provider, as a core person that is responsible for the balancing of the all, you know, you have to be in good shape.
I find it you what you're saying there, because remember you also teach it. When you handle yourself with care and you love yourself, all of those people you're talking about that are under your protection, they will learn, because the bag of sugar apple that you just used, when you respect yourself enough, even when you go as far as taking the biggest sugar apple, you know, how much you say you have around you? You have about 13 people around you. If you practice to take the biggest sugar apple, as you said, you could come home and go to sleep and wake up and know the biggest sugar apple will be there
Yeah,
when
man.
you come home. Because everybody know, hey, you can't touch, you don't know how it go, you know, because you would have instilled that like a lion roar. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So it begins there. I'm seeing the pattern. I hope the family get the pattern. So when you start to honor yourself, family, you start to take care of yourself. It trickles down, as my Lord said, the cup run it over to those that are around you, because you can't give a cup of water if you don't have a cup of water. It's just impossible. You know, it just cannot happen. True. Yes, my Lord. I'll make you continue the flow you'd want to.
Yeah, well, that was it on that there, you know. So basically, that was the answer to the question that he asked with regards to
Give
like
time.
the whole aspect of the emotional aspect and all them thing about me and the self-love. Yeah, taking care of self first, critical, you know, because you are the representative, the reflection. You know, you are you carry the hat. I say you wear the pants.
In the family.
You know, so whereby the mother would actually just carry the physical baby in the blackness of a microcosm. You know, the father himself. Because remember, the baby does not breathe until it comes out of the womb.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, the spirit, the spirit, which is like really represented through the breath. Yeah. The Holy Spirit, the holy breath. So the baby is in the womb, the heart is beating, you know, everything is functioning except the lungs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that spirit, that breath of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if it's alive and feeding upon that blood of that
Mm-hmm.
mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in water, you know, until it come out into the life.
Yeah, the breed.
It's breath. You know, so understanding then that the man is responsible for the keeping of that spirit. You know, that guarding that spirit as the woman guards
As the woman guards the physical.
yeah, man. So it is not that the woman or the man's responsibility is no less than that of the woman. It's even a more sacred responsibility. That's why growing up, then the elders will tell you, like, if you're empress fruitful, then you just be resting all day. Then they say, oh, pity kabat go, pity kabat go. The small one is beating up the big one. Like a child in the womb is actually drawing off the energy of the man himself, you know. So he's always tired and always wants to rest and always, you know, why? Because of the fact that of that spiritual connection. Because the child is in the water, as they would say in the noon now net, right? And it's when it comes out of the water and comes into sunlight, because remember the sperm never sees sunlight, the egg never sees sunlight when they collide. So when they come, that's when they bust out of the water, when the child comes out of the womb, that's the first breath it takes. And start going, you know, so the spirit.
And sorry, but since they bring in the spirit, if I could just bring in this quick, because we have a brother here, Brother Ronald Smith, and he had a few questions. One of the questions really, I think I would have to answer it. It really has to do with astronomy and plants. But within his question, in his second question, his third question really goes to, I don't think we're there yet, has to do with fruits, vegetables, herbs, and the relation to the prostate. But his second question, because you were on that trend, I said, let me bring it up now. And he said, what are some of the methods, pardon me, this is Ronald Smith, that are best for improving and maintaining the prostate health from an African spiritual perspective? I don't know how deep you can you'd want to go into that one, since you already started on that spiritual level.
Well, I mean, the spiritual level is, I mean, that gone are the days when you tell people drink sticky nettle and them type of thing. There's one thing on the internet, many people telling people that things they know. You know, so there's another level of knowledge that you wouldn't be getting at all. Right. So there are so many people telling you what to eat and drink, and how many alkaline vegan, you know, how many people in other hotels they have, all type of thing people have, you know. So people have a lot of things. So one other day is when, you know, imagine, remember it's from 2007, 2008, we on YouTube, you know, so it's a long time. To the days of just eating and drinking, the whole African principle, the principle of interconnectedness. You know, it's a spirit, it's whereby when one is not well, it's not just that one is, how is it that he not being well affects his wife, his children, his uncle, his auntie, his father, you know, his village, you know, the community, you know, the city, the town, you know, the country, and how does one black man being sick affect every black man? You know, and how does one black man being sick affect the entire of humanity? You know, black people, Chinese, Indian, Mongol, whatever it is, it's a spirit of interconnectedness, whereby, you know, everyone is intricately, you know, connected. You know, so then when you look at the whole aspect of the wholesome caring of the prostate representing just like the womb then, or rather ovaries then, right? That is responsible for the production of the testosterone and all, you know, what they call the gonadotropic hormones, the hormones specifically that's responsible for the maturing of the man, you know, an erection, you know, the hormones responsible for, you know, just that man manifesting his man self, you know, growing muscles and, you know, getting a gruff voice and Adam's apple and all these different aspects. Is the prostate that gets activated and that actually transform that man into his man self. All right. So the prostate itself, knowing that in our realms of medicine, that the man is not just his physical self, not just a walnut-sized gland that's right under the gallbladder.
That's the prostate, the walnut. Walnut-sized gland under the bladder.
Yeah.
Get that, students? Go ahead, my lord.
So the same way that you have that the prostate being responsible in that physical realms of, you know, of allowing the man to have an erection, even, you know, the same way then in the effort, you know, the energy in his emotional self, his soul, his spirit, his star, his astral self, his God self, you know, that there is a reflection in all these functions of the prostate. So when you say that if a man is rejected, his prostate actually suffers. That means that an emotional state of how you feel happy or sad, rejected or uplifted, you know, this would basically, you know, determine exactly what chemical goes through your bloodstream. You know, so because remember that, you know, when you feel rejected as a man, it's not no good feeling, and you're feeling good. See, boy, you know, how one just, you know, after all I do, you know, for these people there, that's what they do, you know. So the reflection of that emotional, intangible state, right?
Chemically.
Yeah, has that kind of a chemical, a physical interaction, you know, and then it actually affects the man by causing him to have an increased level of the female hormone. It feminizes him and causes his prostate to actually enlarge, because we understand that cortisol is a steroidal hormone, so is testosterone, and also so is estrogen, you know, so all of them operate within the same frequency, you know. So at the end of the day, just the fact that you have an imbalance in one, it gives you that other imbalance in the other one, right? So because everything has to actually check and balance. So we understand that as a man grows, the
Check and balance. I like that. And the
you
checklist.
know, as a man grows, as a man grows and as a man ages,
Mm-hmm.
from a child, he has is born with sperms that actually mature and are released through direct command of the prostate, right? So a man doesn't begin to ejaculate early or ejaculate until he reaches that sense of what you call adolescent, what you say,
Yes.
adolescence,
Yes.
adolescence or puberty, as they would say, that man then begins to ejaculate early or ejaculate, Why? Because at that point in time, the prostate gland has been activated in a manner to begin to produce a lot more of the male hormone testosterone. You understand? So that gland is responsible for activating the manhood, right? So it is what activates manhood in the man. And every aspect of him gets bigger. His voice changes, his body changes, starts to get big muscles, all type of thing because of a little walnut-sized gland.
All of that is the prostate.
Yeah, man, it's a prostate. It's yes, you have the pituitary gland that produces gonadotropic, stimulating, releasing hormones that will actually cause the gonads, which is the testicles and the prostate glands, more specifically, to begin to release the specific hormones. But it's they that releasing the hormones. That's why when they cut off a man's prostate, most times he's impotent. So understanding that in the African way, then you understand that you have to look at the man as a whole person, and then his family structure and everything that actually surrounds him. So in the spirit of interconnectedness, right, then you understand how is it that he can affect the people around him and how the people around him is actually affecting him. So in nourishing the man then, or in taking care of the man in an Afrocentric way, and even in our Afrocentric way, we do go into epigenetics. How is it that the experiences of your father, your grandfather, and your great-grandfather, how does that affect you? Because it does affect you. So when the Bible talks about generational curses, that's what in science they call genetic disease. So that's because the same way you have that spiritual aspect of things, the same way that spirit is manifested in the flesh, just through the production of that particular feeling through chemical and also through your DNA. So I don't know if I'm going too much on a different level for your
No, and
student.
that's the right level, really. Because even and give thanks again, royal family, we have with us our great physician, the Right Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce, as you would, those of you who have been with us for such time. You definitely don't get it like this anywhere else for sure. As my Lord said, we're living in the age of information where you could just look online and everybody could tell you, well, the stinny nettle has this amount of, what do you call it, zinc or whatever the case is. But the lessons that we're getting here, or the teachings, is a bit different because what you're showing us now is the spiritual component here, the emotional component. Just give me a moment. In the Bible, the book of Isaiah, and the book of Isaiah chapter 3, I think, I hope I'm correct, when it speaks of the children of Israel going into captivity and all the men, all the great men, all the great speakers, the orators, all the kings and the high priests and the prophets and the captains of 100 and the captains of 50 and the captains of 10 and the great engineers and the great smiths, iron smiths and copper smiths, and all, diplomats, all of them would have gone into captivity according to Isaiah chapter 3. And because of that captivity that the man would, or the men in general would have gone into, it would have left the woman now in a very desolate state. But her desolation started with her basically running wild. wherein the guidance and the protection of the man, because according to Isaiah 3, the bread was gone, which is of course your whole sustenance, I guess, economy and industry, etc. The staff was gone, which is defense, your protection and other things that runs the civilization and keep, your domestics in order. All of that was gone. And we can look at society, because we began with that in general, and we can see how society has been shaped to subject both man and woman, and and the war is also on the youth too. And we have reached a conscious level where we're not here just playing blame game. We come with solutions. But this conversation really has brought it to a point where we have to look at what we would have gone through even as a people. And even a lot of what we go through today. Because as spiritual people, my brother, and even ones of faith, we know that we are people who were hit in the head and rendered dead. And we didn't have too many healers that came for us, even on a psychological level. That is why we hail Marcus Messiah Garvey, that is why we hail the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Marcus Messiah Garvey is a man this is why we use it in the symbolic realms, a man that brought the dead back to life. And ones may think that I've gone to church now, but all of what I'm saying here is in relation to what you're saying, the psychological state of the man, that may have to do with his circumstance or with the system that he just naturally finds himself in, and even in the modern time, you made a mention earlier about who wears the pants in the house. And even this kind of conversation is very deep, it's very layered, because the whole science of the woman with the pants comes back to a lot of even what you're saying, because the system has designed it that way, not just to put a woman in the pants. No, it's more than that. The pants is a strong symbol. It's not by mistake that they would have created a system where they give more opportunity of education and advancement to the woman, where it really somewhat destabilized, I guess, the natural concept, and it brings that man now to a level where you mentioned earlier, maybe he feels a bit inferior. Nothing feels worse than a man at home and his woman paying the bills, and it also puts her in a sort of position, especially if she's not strong enough to say, hey, listen, fella, let me warn you, you need to remember who wears the pants around here. And I'm saying all of that, everything, and because it's not as such my show for tonight, I'm not going to take too long, but I'm just showing all of that quickly in a space of what you were saying, the emotional aspect of the man. I would have brought in a little history. I would have brought in a little, I guess, theology with it as an example to show you that the stress that can come down on a man, not just personal, not just coming home from work, but within a society, within an environment. And remember, we have an enemy that knows the power of the prostate. The prostate, to me, from this conversation alone, the prostate appears to be that walnut-sized gland seems to have a lot of spirit in it. Just the fact that the chemicals that it releases, or the chemicals it connects to with, as they said, the penile, etc., brings you into manhood. I could imagine really removing that may just keep you almost like a little boy state forever. So I think this is a very brilliant, beautiful introduction to this conversation as it relates to respecting and honoring the prostate. There is an exercise that you would have taught, where man would take either warm coconut oil or even warm castor oil, yes, and gently massage your prostate. You understand? I mean, I don't want to get too graphic here, but these are things that I do all the time. And what it is, you're showing love to yourself, just like how a man would maybe stroke his cat or his dog or whatever, and stroke yourself and give love to yourself. I know it sounds strange to some, but you see, that's the mentality we have. So no, what the priest talking about there. But again, it's bringing you to a level where you're showing appreciation for that very important organ. You know, that to me, from this discussion, really has a lot of spiritual value and a lot of connection with, you know, the emotional world. You know, I hope I didn't go too far there with that. Yes, my lord, if you want to continue. But if I could just ask, if you could just revisit for us, even just in a quick capsule, the chemical reaction that happens when a man is severely stressed and how it affects the prostate. You would have somewhat gone through that, but just give it to us once more before you go on to the next realms, just for clarity, please, if that's possible.
Yes, my lord, give thanks. Well, I mean, definitely, it's just like today was Tuesday, and then, you know, I had consultations, and I had a brother who had, so, okay, so first of all, he started saying, well, he had acid reflux and these type of things. Then I'm just there waiting to hear the other things. I was waiting to hear the, probably, you know, joint pains and, you know, and arthritis or some type of thing. Then I was waiting to hear impotence, you know, and just there. So as they start to complain, and, you know, so, you know, well, as you'd say, joint, just gastric problems is related to the enteric nervous system, which is basically what we call the second brain, which is the gut. Yeah, and I mean, stress in its every essence is the one of the biggest causes, you know, of what you'd refer to as gastric ulcers or acid reflux or any of these things there. So I was telling the man, if it is that a lion is chasing him, would he stop and eat? You know, no, because the chasing of the lion just represents the stress, the fight or the flight. You know, if a lion is chasing you, would your body be worried about catching a cold? No, because you are in that kind of a stress position where all you are focused about is survival. If a lion is chasing you and you see this beautiful naked woman there, are you gonna stop? No, you know. So all these things, from impotence to impotence to erectile dysfunction and all these different things there, when it comes to how these things, how stress affects the man, it's just natural, because if you understand stress as being the fight or flight, when your physical structure is in that state, right, that you just have to escape, you have to escape, you have to escape, you know, you have to move, you have to save yourself, right? So all these things, they are very fundamentally critical to understand, right? So in understanding of that, then on the whole effects of stress on just the prostate, you understand what you call the endocrine system. So when it is that you are happy, you have very particular glands that secrete the happy hormones that make you feel good, that boost up your immune system, that make you, you know, everything balanced, and you're great, right? So then these hormones there, the feel-good hormones are dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. These hormones there are what boosts your immune system, makes you feel good, you're happy, and right. And that is reflected in the blood when you're happy, when you are contented, when you reflect on things that actually give you that good feeling. And when you reflect on things that give you that bad feeling, what you produce is adrenaline and cortisol, you know, things that actually up your metabolic rate, up your sugar, up your blood pressure, suppress your immune system, you know, stop your stomach from actually digesting the foods, because you are focused upon survival, right? So that in its every essence now would lead to an increase in cortisol, would inadvertently lead to an increase in your estrogen, right, which is the female hormone. So as a man ages and passes 40, we know that his estrogen levels, the female hormone, naturally increases, and then the testosterone, which is the male hormone, naturally decreases, right? So the older the man gets, the less man he is, and the more human he becomes. You know, so then that's why a man gets bald, because of a decrease in testosterone, right? That's why his prostate will naturally increase in size. That's because of the increase in his estrogen levels, right? So when it is that you understand how the endocrine system affects the prostate, how your state of mind affects your prostate, then you take that better, you make better decisions about how you react to things. You know, because the same way you could be upset about something, the same way you could be happy about something. Right? It's just a paradigm shift from one end of the polarity to the other end of the polarity. Give thanks.
Yes, my Lord. Royal family, I see we have approximately 50 people at the moment in the house. I'm just asking that at least we could press the thumbs up button there, and we can just even give the video a little more track around the bend. You know how it is. Just press the like button, and of course, share the link. We'll be very thankful if you share the link with a friend and with a family. Yes, Royal Family, again, give thanks. We have some questions in the chat. We will be taking some of these questions in a moment. As I said, we have the esteemed privilege of hosting the Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce with us right here in the Tiger Nest. We are going to take a bit of intermission here and highlight the prosperity.
Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today.
And of course, the Prosperity Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce is a master product. Let me tell you, it is definitely causing waves even right here in Wadadlian. And I know for sure, even from its inception, it has always been causing waves. Before I get into some aspect of it, let me say, Royal Family, remember again, the Prosperity, as even that ad said, was created specifically by the Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce. Is just one of a range of medicines that my Lord would have innovated really. Of course, he speaks of the elder man that came to the hill that was constipated for 7 days. I know he did say that, maybe it was the situation at home and everything. I don't know if he's just being humble, but I'm sure he gave the man a laxative, which would have brought forth a lot of what came out of him. The best laxative, the Colax in the world, without a doubt. And come on, man, I'm going to tell you how it is. And of course, as I said, a range of products, herbal products. You visit the website, Mount Kailash, am I correct? Pardon me, MountKailash.com. Am I correct, right, my lord?
One Kailash SLU.
Yes, SLU, SLU, which is
SLU.
Because of course, we international, so it will be Mount Kailash Anu, and we all over the world. So, but what I'm saying is, Royal Family, the Prosperity is a master product. I would encourage ones to order their Prosperity, even at a wholesale level, directly, obviously, from the Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce and the Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center. Just as mentioned in the ad, it's no joke whatsoever. You have an inflamed prostate, swollen prostate. As I said, I would have played some of the testimonies right here, my Lord, but I'm not going to pull that up right now, of people right here in Antigua that they basically swear on the Prosperity, And again, the reason why this teaching is very important, and I love the angle that we are coming from. And as I said, we have a few questions that we will get to in a moment. But, let's just be clear. When it comes to our sexuality as a man, or to say men, there's a lot wanting when it comes to the discipline of it. And I think that really goes across the board, and it really is indicative of the world that we live in. I think we know that. We don't even have to start to go into the realms. So there's very little play or room for discipline, really, in this world. And I could, again, go on a whole rant and just tell you why that is so. But again, I won't. But this is why this discussion again is very important for the honorable priest as a guru here is us of the spiritual aspect, how to approach your healing on an emotional level. And for you to approach your healing on an emotional level and on a spiritual level, obviously you have to go with knowledge and intellect and certain level of morals. And you know, my Lord, from the time that you would have been doing this as a lecturer and as a healer as such, you always speak of morality. You always speak of good social habits. And again, this has now evolved into the whole, expression of our emotional self, your astral self. I hear you talking about the etheric self. We do our different courses where we bring in the movement of the stars and the constellations and everything. So this is where we are carrying this as a people, as a humanity. So yes, it's good to know that standing neckle, as they call it, the man standing neckle around here is very good for the prostate. And it's good to know that the kudya root is very good for the prostate and the vervine and all the different chemicals that they have. But again, the mind is very good for the prostate. The heart is very good for the prostate. Taking your time, deep breathe, and watch how you step is very good for the prostate. And again, that is why I really appreciate love, as they would say, appreciate this conversation here this evening. Yes, my Lord, I have a few questions here. Anything you want to say on the spiritual aspect there or anything before I go into any of these questions?
I'll take the questions now, my Lord. Give thanks.
Okay, perfect, my Lord. Well, we have okay. Well, let me just say we have a few statements. Let me just go to some of these statements. Here, one brother is saying this is Maleude Bingi. He's saying that some say the prostate is the seat of the soul. And I just went to that first because of the levels of conversation that we're having. I know that the Bible speaks of, I think it's in Leviticus 11. I know one of the members in the chat will verify or correct me. I think it's Leviticus speaks about the soul, the blood. The seat of the soul is the blood. But of course, the sperm is somewhat related to that. And some say that the seat of the soul is actually the sperm. Just quickly, my Lord, do you do ice baths? Someone is asking that. Do you do ice baths? And if so, can you explain?
Well, I mean, even for prostatic health and for fertility purposes in the man, just even an ice sits whereby you sit down in cold water.
Yes.
What it does, it actually stimulates the prostate and the testicles, and it actually activates the production of fresh sperm. So cold baths do enhance the whole realms of sperm production.
So when you take a cold shower and the testicles tighten up, what is happening there with what you just explained? That from my own understanding.
Well, I mean, the testicles, and remember the testicles is outside of your physical structure. The testicles are actually hanging outside. Okay. So the reason why it's hanging outside is because the testicles actually sow the seeds. And then for these seeds to actually come out of the penis, they have to literally come from outside, go inside via the spermatic cord, right? And then come out through the penis, right through your urethra, and then you have the sperm coming out of the penis going into the vagina of the woman. So it comes from outside, goes inside, and then it goes back outside. So the sperm is on the outside because of the importance of having proper temperature control, because it doesn't have to be too hot. So if it is inside of the physical structure, it might be too hot and might die. So the testicles, the skin of the testicles have a lot of muscles, smooth muscles that are responsible for bringing the testicles close to the goodie to increase the heat, or bring it away from the goodie to actually decrease the heat. So if you're in cold water, the testicles will actually shrink down Why? Because it wants to bring the sperm close to your goodie to get that heat that's from your goodie to actually keep them alive. Right?
So as far as the ice bath, well, personally, I don't have no plans to jump in a bucket of ice, but I would believe those early morning
Cold baths.
cool, not the showers when we go to the beach early in the morning, I would believe that is a similar effect.
Or when we used to go to the spring, go to the spring early in the morning. The
True,
spring
yeah.
in bus. You walk down, Yeah, them spring and them waters, they're cool. Yeah.
So you would encourage that then?
Yeah, cold showers are very important, man. Cold showers is like trauma. You have to traumatize your physical structure to actually allow, even like exercising.
Wake you up, eh?
Yeah, it wake you up. Exercising is tearing muscular ligaments, and allowing it to repair and get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just trauma. So your physical structure, every time you have physical structure reach that near death kind of thing, oh boy, you feel like you are dying, then it pushes up some kind of energy instead of you to make sure you stay alive. So the cold water is like, remember when you have in cold water, you have to learn to breathe. So the breath itself, so all them things that practice you helps to practice proper breathing, nurturing of the spirit, yeah. So
exercise is just simply, what is it, tearing your ligaments and they healing back and getting bigger?
Yeah, when you exercise, it's damaging your muscles. When you
that easy.
You pump the muscles. That's why it gets so sore the day after. It hurts.
I must say, I never dig them realms there. First, I really check in that heights. Give thanks, my Lord, I must say. So there's a phrase here, I'm telling you straight off the bat, I do not know it, but I'm sure you have it covered. A few people put it on the board. So you got to help me out. What is it here? Molluscrum. Explain that to me. Molluscrum con. Oh,
Why would I have to go in the order? They could just Google that and then just type the thing in and whatever. People just ask all type of questions. Yeah. No, I wouldn't even go into that yet.
All right, my Lord. But I assume it's something along the same realms. Of course, well, I have a few people here highlighting where they're from. Jonathan is saying he's from Uganda. Give thanks, Brother Jonathan. Sperm retention. What do you have to say about that, my Lord?
If you can't pronounce the thing, why should I have? All right, so sperm retention is like it's very important. Like, not just sperm retention, just about self-control, So then every time a man comes together with his woman, he has to actually sow his seeds. In fact, 99% of the time you're not supposed to really sow your seeds. I mean, why are you sowing your seeds for? Remember, the process is better than the end result, really. Most times after a man sows his seed, he just lifeless and lay down and tired and knock out. And then the woman still feels strong. But if it is that you understand the purpose of the sperm and just understanding the life force it actually carries, you don't have to ejaculate early, every time you come together, because when you understand the significance of the process of what is it that you are doing, becomes far more important than just the end product of just the release, So I won't even call it sperm retention. I'll more call it like self-control, and understanding how, I know that as a man, if I sow my seeds, right, it's gonna take a ton of energy from me. You understand? Yet still, if I retain my seeds, I'm gonna feel better. I'm not gonna feel like as if that tiredness and all them different aspects. Yet still, I would have shared my intimate most part with my goddess, So at the end of the day, knowing the purpose of the seeds and what it is used for, just being able to hold it, is critical. So we do that, and we recommend that a man must, you don't waste your seeds, like shut that down. Remember, that's not supposed to see light like that. It's supposed to go into darkness one time. So when you actually practice that, There's a part of yourself that you actually keep on saving.
True, my Lord. Give thanks. So, family, I hope you get that one. I mean, I don't think that everyone may even have come across that kind of idea and reasoning. I would have heard about, I'm not really putting this to the eye, my Lord, but I would have heard about, so you have ejaculation, I think it's injaculation, something of the sort. Honestly, I can't explain that to no one. But what the Honorable was saying, a few nights ago, we had a program, and it wasn't really on the subject, but we were highlighting Brother Baroshango, Ayashaka Baroshango, one of our esteemed ancestors, esteemed scholars and elder. And he was speaking of how we in ancient Africa, how the man would have pleasured the woman there. And you know, he was making a little funny. I really, because I had a nice time. It was really on the Tiger's Nest radio program, so that was specifically exclusively a radio. And I'm not even sure if it came across on the YouTube. But he was saying now, so according to him, this is really, it's about you and her, but it's really about her. So when she's done, you better get up, boy. And the way he said it like the elders had to come and say, listen, boy, we got to talk to you. Eh? So because you don't know how society is today, and the way that nobody taught us. In fact, the teacher of us when it comes to sexuality is TV, the movie channel, Cinemax, pornography in them latter day and time. So there ain't no real teacher, just looseness and madness. You know, so even what you're saying, you know, that's the mentality. That's how, as a man, which, well, I think I would say as men, you know, that's how we are not only trained to behave, but we think that that's it, you know, so you have to finish. In fact, it's more about you finishing, really, and than anybody else. When according to Baroshango, it's totally the opposite, you know.
And like 3 times, 4 times, boy, 3 times.
Right, because that's the culture. I don't even know if I want to call that a culture, more like a cult. So this thing needs some serious teachings, eh? Oh my, this serious. You know that. You know how serious it is, to the point that sometimes you wish you could get this information out more efficiently to most of us that need to hear it. But sometimes it's almost like you have to put on surgical gloves just to deal with this. But anyway, let me just move on. You were saying something on that, my Lord, Pat?
No, but the question
I have here this one. I'm going to read this one. You can tell me if you want to handle it. Let me still read it, because I know you're a counselor, so you get these things. Should I leave my wife? I got no cheerleader. You were talking about a cheerleader earlier. No upliftment. I'm just rejected, pardon me. And down. I'm just rejected and downed. I believe it's downed each day for 6 years. I wouldn't even call it the name, really. You want to help the brother out?
I can't help. I will. Basically, I mean, as we're talking about is self-love.
Yeah, self-love.
You know, as a man, you know, you cannot forget or forget, you know, that you basically, you know, you have that responsibility to keep yourself in that top form and top shape, and you know, smell good and look good. You know, if it is that for 6 years, you for a woman, and she gives you no attention, no other woman gives you attention.
Oh, that's a heavy one.
No, no other person look at you and say, well, my brother, let me help you carry that bag. You know, then you probably should ask your own self a question. You know, because you cannot expect, yes, a man's supposed to get that joy and that love and that respect. You know, by the end of the day, you have to keep yourself in that type of a manner. No one will pass a dollar on a nice dollar on the ground and leave it. Somebody picks it up. You know, anything of value. So you pass on the ground and say a dollar and leave that. No, you pay a pass. So a man of value, right? When you understand your own intricate value, right? You won't be 6 years in a relationship and you don't have a cheerleader. You know, because you understand that your intricate value. You know, you'd have created a system around your own self to ensure that you've been shared, you know, because you cannot allow yourself to come to that point. 6 years, you did 7 years hit you, then you finish.
Oh
Then
my,
7 is the number of completion.
my
But today
brother.
we were we were doing some baths. You know, we were teaching about baths. That man then need a bath, you know, to free him up. You know, with some Piper Elder, you know, Consultation Negro, you know, if the gully root and thing and bathe in two waters, either where the sea and the river meet, you know, or where two river streams meet together and form one, and you bathe in that junction there to help to purge yourself from that, whatever holding you down. Because you'd have to be held down to stay 6 years and no cheerleader, none of them things, you know, 6 years, bro. So
Where the sea and the river meet, eh?
yeah, I'm still not even meet. I did low. That's where you release.
Wow,
You
wow,
know,
wow.
you all them kind of tie up, because remember, you are not just flesh, you are spirit. And the fact that you coming home and expecting a little love, and you ain't getting that. You know, and 6 years.
Yes, those spiritual baths, you mentioned the cudgel, and so you want to just give us a few more what you would put in that bath or how you would conduct that?
Well, I mean, baths are something that ancestrally that we do. You know, so okay, growing up, you go by the river. There are special herbs that you just bathe with, and you know how it was when I was still in St. Lucia for that time there. The amount of plants that's right by the spring that man does use to scrub themselves and do all that type of thing there. Now, as simple as it look, there are plants that when a man probably they call it go well. The worst thing that could happen to a man is when his woman actually leave him for another man. You know, that man, they will almost go mad and walk the street and do all type of thing. They call that
Drink
go.
fluid on ice.
No, they call it that. That's the worst thing, a man. Sometimes if a man going to them thing that the mother or the grandmother would bring him in the day glow and take the Piper elder and beat him with it, you know, and take it and beat him with it and thing, and you know, take off that
Spirit.
that spirit, that hold on that he have on him. You know, he ought to tie up. You know? And that especially in the dark moon, which is basically the day before the new moon, you know, there's no light whatsoever, because the new moon is not the darkest moon. No, the darkest moon is the day before the new moon. Time the new moon hit, you're already starting to see a little light coming out of the moon. You know, it is that little space when it's so dark that everything have to hide. Nothing creeps in that night. No, you want to say no creeper. It's black, dark. I remember, you remember when the right reason used to say dark. You know? You know, so dark is the day before the new moon. You know, so that day is whereby anything, if you plant a tree or whatever you do at that time, it flourishes. So that's the point of transition from one moon cycle to the other. That when you bathe within that time, then yeah.
Dark, in that black.
Yeah, black or dark.
It's St. Lucia here that talking.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when you cut bamboos, that's when you cut trees, that's when you do all things there. So
there was a question in the chat, someone was asking where you live, and well, that is in the island. Well, you're in the island of St. Lucia, and we live where we are. And let me say again, family, Hon.Priest Kailash Leons is our traditional healer. Again, you could definitely not only contact him, but the Hon.Priest would have established the Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center. I'm inviting everyone to visit the website, Mount Kailash SLU. We will put it in the chat. I'm just asking the Honorable to put it in the chat for me, please. The website, so you could visit the website, and you could also even establish a connection and set up a consultation. That's the word I was looking for. Consultation with the Hon.Priest. You can do an online consultation. If I'm not mistaken, you could do a Zoom consultation as well. The best bet in anything is to visit the Hon.Priest and his wonderful team in St. Lucia, in the rainforest, basically, of St. Lucia, in the hills, in the mountains, as you would have heard, amongst the spring, amongst the rivers, amongst the fruits, amongst all the herbs. You know, the Honorable Priest would have established his community in full connection with nature, from the cabins to the guest houses. I mean, everything is pristine. Several times a year, my Lord will hold several events right on that compound. I myself would have partaken of many events there, where we would have entertained from prime ministers to all sorts of officials, delegates from overseas. So this is a thriving movement that my Lord is really conducting. And for those who are not aware, again, I can only encourage you to take a deeper look, into the works that Honorable Priest Kailash is doing. Every one of us um, needs healing. And I'm telling you, if you yourself, obviously starts with yourself, your children, those who are around you, I would take the time to learn more about the works that my Lord Honorable Priest, the Right Honorable Priest Kailash Leons is doing. And I would encourage you to step into the water and try the healing that is available from my Lord. Yes, God and King. Well, my Lord, we're going to seal it up here. I did promise that we are going to, the brother said, give thanks.
Rastafari.
Yeah, what you say? Take one more year and make it 7 before. Let me not make light of it. Yes, my Lord.
No. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the standard that you set and thing, and as I was saying about the sugar apple, after a while, when the lion, the big sugar apple is always there.
Always there. Always there, pretty high.
The cherry there is important.
Yeah. We would have learned a lot this evening, Royal Family. We must really give thanks again for this information, something we'd have to, conduct again very near in the future. But again, your health is your wealth.
Yes,
and I know I don't really stress it on people maybe like before, but I know still within you realize that people we don't really what's the word? We don't take as much value, I guess, in ourselves that we should. And when I say value, let's just use money as the media. Sometimes we prefer put it back in the pocket and say, no worry, man, next year I'm gonna come and check you. Remember, this is a man that's sick, eh? Next year I'm gonna come and check you. I know you hear that all the time. I know you would have maybe at some time would have said, no man, you need to come now. Maybe you reach a stage now when they say that, you say, all right, whenever you're ready, come. Because it's just a level of maturity. But I'm just saying, I'm not asking you about that. I'm just telling it to my family here that our health is very, very important. Our health is really our wealth, your sustenance. And again, when you have masters around you that can definitely bring you to that level of optimum health, we should definitely take advantage of that situation. My Lord, any sealing words you want to?
Yeah, man, the Prosperity is one of the products that we created, long time ago.
Long time.
The reason why, I mean, if people don't know, I was reasoning with the goddess, about our time in Antigua and them times there when, we in Freetown. I remember Freetown was in a free road, just like where two waters meet.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So we were the gatekeepers at that place there, and the mountain of sugar apples. So
the little pan across the road drive though.
You drive now?
Yeah, drive, man. You never know a pan was there. Well, you would know if you know the bush.
Oh my. Anyway, that pun sustained us for 3 years or so.
True, man.
Yeah, man. So, even from that time, the Prosperity is a product that we have worked upon. And the Prosperity contains artillery fern, it contains Barbade, which is basically a very potent aphrodisiac. Calcam, it's a very potent aphrodisiac. It contains the stinging nettle root, stinging nettle leaf, stinging nettle bark. It contains all these herbs, they're specifically, combined and actually, sipped in a burnt oak barrels, so at least be able to extract the active component of these plants. So the prosperity, what it does now, as it combines the anamu, which is the gully root, and the gully root leaf and the gully root bark and all these other components that makes it up, it allows a man to naturally just build up himself. It's not like as if like a Viagra, you just take it and you just get hard. It's a herb that you take to correct the imbalances that you have within your physical structure. And as you follow with a natural guide, that could help you to build towards that natural man aspect of yourself. So it's not like I think whenever you want to come together with your empress, you have to take a pill, right? Because you are always on your prosperity, that means you are always ready. And the little Red Riding Hood,
Yeah.
always ready, always
Yes,
prepared, so as long as you always prepared for action, everything is good. So that's what the prosperity does. So it helps to actually deal with what we call an enlarged prostate, benign prostatic hyperplasia, where your prostate is enlarged, prostatitis, where the prostate is inflamed, hydrocele, where basically you have the swelling of the testicles. It's a basically a medicine created just for the man, for the prosperity of the man. So we are the impotent and the important, so the important male tonic, but the prosperity was created as a tincture, much smaller, so at least the man could utilize it effectively to help to boost up his prostate, balance his hormone, and I mean, if you get a man that is 60 now, and he has not had prostate problem, I mean, you surprised?
in them time, yeah.
In the time that we are living now, 2 out of every 3 men get prostate cancer. Not every 3 of them not get it, 2 of them die from it. So it is a very dangerous disease condition. So all we have to do, all we can do, right? I mean, I'm sure that the people then would understand that their primary responsibility lies in self. And all you have to do is demonstrate that, or not they demonstrate. I'm sure that self-love, that self-care, whereby you are nourishing your physical structure, you're taking care of your prostate, you are eating healthy, you are exercising, So the same way that cold water does traumatize you, the same way exercise does traumatize you and force you to get better. You understand? So definitely we give thanks for the opportunity, give thanks to be in the nest and in the den, give thanks, my Lord.
Yes, my Lord, all powers and all blessings, to the royal household. And of course, you don't know, we will link on the other side.
Rastafari.
My Lord, give thanks. And of course, royal family, that was the Honorable Priest Kailash Leonce there with a wealth of knowledge and information there on the whole aspect of the health of the man. And, definitely, as I said, something we need to touch upon again. But royal family, how many of you really understand and know that even the sperm is directly connected, not just with your energy, but even with your brain cells, and when it comes to, for example, the spiritual realms, it is said that even before the man ejaculates, the heart beats once every 72 times per minute. And some within the metaphysics science is saying when it's ejaculation time, it beats once 144 times every minute. So it doubles. And the spirit of the sperm climbs up like the kundalini, the spine, the spinal column, and somewhat would kiss the brain. And it is the energy from the brain. It's a real mystic thing, comes back down and comes out with the sperm, hopefully into the womb of the woman. That is why throwing the sperm on the ground and out the window and in them little plastic bags they tie up and in the rubbish bin is very detrimental. That's almost like witchcraft. In the world of witchcraft, somebody could just take it here and throw it and just put it in a bottle and carry it away. Hey, in witchcraft, right? Just to show how powerful even ganja is, you could take a draw of the herb and someone bottle that smoke and go home and play with that smoke, because the smoke that's coming out of your nostril is coming with the electricity in your brain. It's just reality. It's nothing to run from, you know. So just imagine something as powerful as the semen. Man, you can see all the men in there, the semen. And we put it in plastic bags and tie it up and throw it in the rubbish, in the garbage bag. The garbage collector comes and collect your semen, eh? In Islam, they have a thing that they say that uh, uh, that when a man dies at his grave, all the unborn children that he would have thrown away in sperm would come and visit and ask him why he would have done that. Now, you understand what I'm saying? So even as my Lord was saying, the sowing of the seed, even when the seed is sown and a child is not, or the egg is not affected, then that is still a strength for the woman, you know. Yeah, because the sperm is rich. The sperm is electrical. The sperm has a lot of power. You check it. It's the wicked world and pornography that teach you to pull out and throw it across the room. Where did that come from? Read it in the Bible. The man that was supposed to give the woman children, he threw his sperm to the ground, and according to the scripture, the Lord came and slew him. Now you may say, wow, that's religious. Well, even if it's just esoteric, esoterically it makes sense. It's just showing you the spirit within, you know, your semen. So retaining it, I mean, it's just a natural thing. I mean, we lose too much of our sperm as brothers. That is without a doubt. You understand? You follow the order King Emmanuel, you naturally retain your sperm, even if you don't know how to do it as such. You understand? And that is why everything is psychology and the mind, you know. Mind, man, just the mind. The mind. I always tell people sometimes you're up and down all day, and it's only when you reach home and you're looking in your bag for the key that you realize you want to go and use the bathroom and urinate. Because it's your mind. Your mind is telling you, I'm home now. So the mind is affecting the bladder, and the bladder is ready to release. But if you're still on the road, you know you want to go, but you're not home yet. So it's the mind. The mind has a lot to do with everything. Just take that from me. So yes, family, we give thanks again for the presence of the Honorable Priest Kailash Leons. As I said, you could definitely visit my Lord's website, and that is Priest Kailash. Mount Kailash SLU. And definitely, believe me, family, you have a wealth of knowledge and information to gather just by visiting the website. And of course, even I would definitely, if I was you, taking a consultation. You ain't got to be sick about anything. And I would also avail myself of the beautiful medicines that are there for you. Give thanks for your presence with us. Rastafari.
Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity.
And of course, as the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge is the chief retailer in the nation of Antigua and Barbuda. Again, family, I would also encourage you to visit the website of Mount Kailash and order your prosperity in wholesale, for sure. Believe me, this is an investment in yourself. Your health is your wealth. Blessed Lord.